हेलो।
यस सर, बोलिए ना।
आवाज आ रही है तो शुरू करें अब।
यस सर।
हाँ ठीक है, शुरू करता हूँ। स्लाइड शेयर कर रहा हूँ मैं। ठीक है, ड्यू टू डिस्कनेक्शन ऑफ ठीक है। तो वी आर एक्चुअली डिस्कसिंग अबाउट द डिफरेंट प्रोसेस इन्वॉल्व for most of variety of cheeses. These are we are discuss about the basic scientific basis for manufacture of any type of cheese. We have already discussed about various type of cheese, their classification according to different base, according to type of milk, according to type of culture, according to type of different different type of milk. So now we are actually discussing about what type of milk is suitable for manufacture of cheese. First of all, selection of milk. The selection of milk is most important for good quality of cheese. Suppose the quality of milk should be the quality of milk should contain not any developed acidity for manufacture of cheese. The milk should contain not any antibacterial, antimicrobial compound or antibacterial residues in the milk. Milk should be free from any type of abnormal flavor or odor in the milk, and milk should be free from any type of pesticide. Pesticide residues in the milk. Similarly, milk should not contain any residue of detergent or sanitizers, because they are actually hamper the growth of the milk. So, as far as quality is concerned, milk should be fresh and should not develop any developed acidity. And after collection of milk, we actually store the milk to less than 4 degree, less than 6 degrees centigrade, 4 to 6 degrees centigrade, to check the growth of microorganisms. Particularly psychotrops, psychotrops generally, there are so many psychotropic bacteria like Pseudomonas fragilis, Pseudomonas fluorescens, Pseudomonas piptifid. These are the bacteria which are actually causes defect in the cheese when they are actually not keep under frozen condition. So for in selection of milk, we have also see the what type of milk is suitable for what type of cheese. Suppose cow milk is suitable for almost all Western variety of cheese, almost all ripened variety of cheese like cheddar cheese, Gouda cheese, Edam cheese. And the cow milk is suitable for almost all the cheese. Exception are like the mozzarella cheese. Mozzarella cheese best made from buffalo milk, and buffalo milk can give you the best mozzarella cheese. So buffalo milk is best suited for manufacture of cheese. Similarly, in some variety of cheese, then cow and buffalo both are not suitable for such type of cheese. Like there are so many varieties like white brine cheese, feta cheese, Roquefort cheese, Romano cheese. These are actually not best suitable, best got from cow and buffalo milk. And if we prepare Romano cheese, cheddar, the white brine cheese, or white brine cheese and Roquefort cheese from sheep milk, then we can actually got best suitable of milk, because in this type of milk we are actually increase the proportion of fatty acid. Fatty acid like C6 to C10 content is more, so we can actually get the peppery flavor, which is the characteristics of the Romano cheese and Roquefort cheese and feta cheese. So sheep milk is best suited for such type of cheese. Now comes into the pre-treatment of milk. We have already discussed different methods for manufacture of cheese. So we are actually after collecting the milk from the different chilling center, different sources of milk cooperatives or milk center, we immediate chilled the milk. This is also one of the process of one of the pre-treatment of milk. Is just after taking the milk, we are just keeping in a storage condition to check the growth of psychotrophs, so that we can reduce the defects which actually generally occur after ripening of cheese, and which leads to different of flavor in the cheese. So we immediate chill the milk in the range of 4 to 6 degrees centigrade temperature. And another one is thermization. Thermization is generally done in the cheese milk to generally 65 degrees centigrade for 15 seconds. And the purpose of thermization is to enhance the keeping quality of the milk. So suppose the milk is not immediate use for manufacture of cheese, then we can thermize the milk. So we after thermization, we are actually controlling the growth of the psychotrophs. So this is also one of the method we can actually reduce the different defects in the cheese. Another one is pasteurization. You know that pasteurization in almost all dairy products we are actually opted pasteurization. But in case of cheese, raw milk actually gives you characteristics flavor which is actually required for the different variety of cheese. So, but we cannot compromise with the health aspect. That is why World Health Organization, even Codex Alimentary Commission, or even in FSSI, we are actually recommending pasteurization of milk, because pasteurization actually make the milk suitable for human consumption. So similarly, we can, if we pasteurize the milk, then we can confident that milk is not containing any type of pathogens, that is not containing any type of disease producing organism. The purpose of pasteurization you already know. Another but with respect to cheese making, what is the importance of pasteurization? So in case of pasteurization, we can actually if we pasteurize the milk, then we can increase the renating time of the milk. That means retaining type of milk means, then when we add a renate to the milk, and we can pasteurize, if we have already pasteurized the milk, then the renate coagulation time will be increased. Similarly, if we pasteurize the milk, then the retention of moisture will be more, and yield of the cheese is also more in case of pasteurized milk. So yield content will be higher, and then at the same time we can retain the cultures and renate in the curd, which actually leads to the different type of flavor and texture development during ripening of cheese. So now we can actually go for bacterifugation. So in pre-treatment also, in particularly in cheese making, we are actually go for bacterifugation. You already know that bacterifugation is the process by which we can actually reduce the spore count of the milk up to 99.9%. So it is also based on centrifugal forces, in which the speed of the ball and the rotation speed is generally more than 10,000 rpm to 15,000 rpm. So in case of bacterifugation, if we use in cheese making, generally employed in cheese making, just we can actually check the growth of late blowing defect and early blowing defect in the cheese, and it also reduces the certain other type of defect in the milk. So generally bacterifugation is best suited for the cheese making. And one of the pre-treatment is homogenization of milk. So it is optional. You can go for we can opt for homogenization the milk. You know that homogenization in the process by which we can actually reduce the fat size of the fat globule in the less than 2 micron, and to make the uniform emulsion or uniform distribution fat in the milk system. So if you homogenize the milk, then the moisture retention will be higher, then the yield of cheese will be higher. But at the same time, if we homogenize the milk, then there may be chances of oxidation or rancid flavor in the cheese during ripening of cheese. So homogenization is optional. We can go for homogenization also add to the cost of the manufacture of cheese. But now the most important is standardization of cheese. Suppose you manufacture cheddar cheese, then you have to standardize the milk in different CF ratio. If you prepare cheese for Gouda cheese making, then the casein fat ratio of the milk is different. When you prepare the when you prepare the cheese from cow milk, then CF ratio will be different. Similarly, if you prepare buffalo milk, if you prepare cheese from buffalo milk, then the casein fat ratio will be different. Similarly, we according to the type of milk, we are actually sterilizing the milk. But in generally, we can if we prepare cheddar cheese, which is the most prominent variety of cheese. Generally, we are adjusting the casein fat ratio in the range of 0.9. CF ratio is casein fat ratio is 0.9. Whereas when we prepare the cheese from cow milk, then we can keeping in this range. But if we prepare the cheese cheddar cheese from buffalo milk, then the casein fat ratio will be 0.8% is generally recommended. So similarly, in case of mozzarella cheese, if we prepare buffalo milk, then we can get the best mozzarella cheese. But when we prepare cheese from cow milk, then we have to sterilize the milk, and generally we have to maintain the casein fat ratio or fat level in the cheese is 3.5 to 4% to get or to maintain the legal requirement of the manufacture of cheese. So standardization of purpose of milk is to maintain the specific legal requirement of the different respective cheeses, and we can actually accordingly standardize the milk. So we will give you some numericals on this, then how we can actually standardize the milk in the next classes, and you have to prepare and write in the practical records. So so now comes into the, we have already discussed the selection of milk, and best suited is buffalo milk buffalo milk is suited for mozzarella cheese. So another aspect we have to know that milk contains some inhibitory compounds. You have already studied also in market milk that milk contains several types of antimicrobial compounds like lysozyme, lactinin 1, lactinin 2, and lactoferrin, bifidus factors in generally in mother's milk. So there are so many compounds, even immunoglobulin. These are actually present in natural milk, but the antimicrobial compounds which are actually present in milk, when comes into the room temperature, they are actually their antibacterial compound activity is reducing with increase in the temperature. So these are the but generally your lactinin 1 can actually stop the growth of or inhibit the growth of certain streptococci which are actually required in the manufacture of cheese. So but we can here by using pasteurization we can actually check or reduce or remove the certain streptococci from the milk, and milk may be suitable for the growth of starter culture. So we can actually by pasteurization we can actually remove the inhibitory substances in the milk, but the pesticide residue, antibiotic residue cannot be eliminated from the milk by using pasteurization. So the quality of milk should be free from any type of pesticide residue, any type of antibiotic residue, any type of detergent or sanitizer residue. So these are the factors we have to discuss. And similarly, we can already discuss that if we maintain the casein fat ratio in the range of 0.7, then we can get generally good quality of cheese. So if as you know that different fat has different role in manufacture of cheese. Generally, fat actually influence the flavor, particularly different type of flavor which is originated from milk fat, and some flavor is originated from protein decomposition or protein. So we can actually accordingly also we can actually adjust the casein fat ratio. So we have already discussed about what is the objective of heat treatment of milk, and heat treatment is generally to control the psychotropics. Particularly, milk is normally pasteurized before cheese making. So now comes into the ripening of milk. We have already pasteurized the milk, already selected the milk. Even we can already store or thermize. Every aspect we have already discussed here. Now the best next important stage is that is acidification. So we are when you can see that in the first slide there is a addition of a starter culture. So we can actually increase for cheese making. Generally, cheese milk when keep up to 37 degrees centigrade or 30, depending upon type of culture used. Suppose you are using mesophilic type of starter culture, then generally we can actually control. We can actually generally use Streptococcus lactis, Streptococcus pneumoniae, and Streptococcus diastyle lactis. These are the culture actually used for the cheese manufacture, for increasing the acidity level. Acidity is such a level so that proper action of rennet can be possible. So we are two type of culture. One is mesophilic culture. Another one is thermophilic culture. That is the herd culture. That is Lactobacillus thermophilus. So we are also telling Streptococcus thermophilus and Lactobacillus bulgaricus. These two culture are actually, milk is actually heated after pasteurization. Milk is cooled to 42 degrees centigrade. Then we can adding the culture, yogurt culture for increasing the level of the milk. So we are actually adding this culture and actually increase the level of milk so that we can actually get the proper coagulation by using rennet enzyme. So and in other way, in some cases, we are also using the direct acid. We can also coagulate by direct acid. Direct acid. Here we can see that acidogen. You can use acidogen. That is scientific name is gluconic acid alpha lactone, which is actually generally used for manufacture of mozzarella cheese, feta cheese, and cottage cheese. So we can prepare different type of cheese by using direct acid method. When we can prepare mozzarella cheese by starter culture method also, and you can also prepare mozzarella cheese by using direct acid method. So depending upon the suitability, depending upon the condition of the plant, we can actually accordingly select the which one is the best for the manufactured cheese. No doubt there is some advantage when we prepare the cheese from a starter culture, or we can prepare the mozzarella cheese from direct acid method. So similarly, we can also prepare cottage cheese by using some certain acidogen or acidogen, and we can no need of any starter culture. So we can prepare such type of milk. If we add lactic acid bacteria to cheese milk, the main purpose is that the whole curd is informed, and whole curd represent the same rate of acid production. So that when we keep the cheese curd at ripening room, then we can get the uniform flavor distribution among the cheese block. Similarly, coagulation. So you can already know that in cheese making we are using rennet as an enzyme for coagulation. So rennet is actually containing two type of enzymes. One is renin, another one is pepsin. So these two enzymes is actually present in the milk, and renin is most active at pH 5.4. And here we can see that if we acidify the milk up to the pH level 4.6, then we can get the desirable character in the cheese. So renin is more active at pH 5.4, whereas in case of whereas pepsin, which is active at pH 2. So pH is So pH is most important in the manufacture of cheese. In the world, more than 75% of the cheese is manufactured by rennet coagulation. Only some specific varieties like cottage or cheddar is actually. कौन फोन कर रहा है जी? क्यों क्यों फोन कर रहे हो? हाँ? क्या हुआ? अब हमको क्या, हम तो पढ़ाना है जी। क्या हुआ? क्या लिख रहा था? क्या हुआ क्या जी? तुम्हारा नाम क्या हुआ? अरे मुझे पहले लेक्चर पूरा लेने दो। ठीक है, लेक्चर लेने दो, लेक्चर सुनो पहले। हाँ, लेक्चर सुनो। हेलो।
हाँ सर बोलिए ना।
हाँ, क्या क्या कह रहा है जी? सुमित कुछ कंप्लेन कर रहा है। तुम लोग ऐसे करोगे, एक तो कुछ करते रहते हो तो भी मैं चुप रहता हूँ कि मैं पहले लेक्चर ले लूँ पूरा। ठीक है, आगे बढ़ूं? हेलो।
ओके सर बढ़िए।
हाँ, बढ़े ना? क्या बात है, सुमित क्यों बोल रहा है
हाँ
ऐसे?
सर
क्या क्या किया है तुम लोग?
नहीं पता सर अभी।
हैं? ठीक है। मैं कोगुलेशन तो हमने बता रहा था कि 75% जो जितना तरह का चीज है वर्ल्ड में, वो है सो रीनेट कोगुलेशन के द्वारा बनाया जाता है। और सम स्पेसिफिक वैरायटी जो कॉटेज चीज है, क्वार्क चीज जो जर्मनी का है, कॉटेज यूएसए का है। तो ये जो सब चीज है, इसको हम दोनों से मिला सकते हैं। एसिड कोगुलेशन से, एसिड कोगुलेशन से भी बना सकते हैं। और अगर वी कैन इवन यूज द रीनेट आल्सो, बट वी कैन दिस टू चीज कैन बी मैन्युफैक्चर बाय द एसिड कोगुलेशन। और यू कैन नो दैट रेनिन इज, जो रेनिन का जो वन पार्ट है, वो दूध के 500 मिलियन पार्ट्स को कोगुलेट कर सकता है। दैट इज वेरी मच एक्सट्रीमली पावरफुल क्लॉटिंग एंजाइम्स generally for and used for making of cheese. And now we can see that different type of rennet powder is actually available in the world, है ना? तो इन रीनेट पाउडर, इन रीनेट कमर्शियल, इन रीनेट पाउडर also we can generally 1.5 gram to 2.5 gram of gram per 100 liter of milk is generally suitable for cheddar cheese. And you can know that Mito-Rinnet, this is actually imported from Japan. And they are two companies are actually Renilles and Henles. They are actually manufacturing Rinnet, which is of microbial origin. You know that in India there is a ban of use of calf rennet. So we are implying microbial rennet for manufacture of different type of cheese. So if we are making cheese by Mito rennet, then we can use rennet enzymes at the rate of 1.25 to 1.6 gram per 100 liter of milk. है ना? So we can add. So and what should be the temperature? अगर हम रीनेट यूज करेंगे तो जैसे ही एसिडिटी लेवल जो हमारा इंक्रीज करेगा 0.2% से ज्यादा, जैसे ही दूध में डालने के बाद, then we can add रीनेट. And generally temperature is suitable for renating the curd is generally 37 degree centigrade is best suited, and we can recommend it 32 to 32 to 37 degree centigrade तक, है ना? So these are the different aspects of coagulation. And we can also see that in case of cow milk, है ना? In case of cow milk, when we heat or pasteurize the milk, then क्या होता है उसमें? The calcium content of the cow milk is actually reduced. The level of calcium is reduced in the cow milk, है ना? So to restore or to maintain the calcium level, to get best coagulation as desirable in cheese making, so we are generally advocating or recommending a small addition of calcium chloride, generally in the range of 0.02 to 0.03. So we can get the best curd for the even from the cow milk. But when we prepare cheese from buffalo milk and even pasteurize the milk, then generally there is no need of addition of calcium chloride because buffalo milk are actually rich in calcium, and some of insoluble calcium of buffalo milk is converted into soluble form of calcium. So calcium ion content is sufficient, which can coagulate the curd of the cheese, and which is actually best suited for the cheese manufacture. Now comes into the coagulum, and you know that after coagulation, after cutting, after coagulation, then curd is actually allowed for some time, generally generally 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, so that whey can be removed from the curd. So when we see that there is a clear green color, then we can see that there is a clear cleavage or a green way is appear in the curd. Then we can think that the curd is ready for cutting. If regular cleavage is seen, then this indicates that curd is too soft, that is not suitable for best cheese making. So when curd is ready for cutting, then first of all we can cut horizontally, then followed by vertically. So these two type of knives actually usually available. You have already discussed in different what are different type of different use in cheese making. So we can use the curd. You choose the knife for cutting the curd, and you can know that you can also see that there are some certain surface active compounds like phospholipid, whey protein, which are actually accumulate on the surface and form a thin osmotic membrane, which actually रिटार्ड्स द वे एक्सपेंशन ड्यूरिंग कुकिंग. जब हम गरम गरम करते हैं, कुकिंग करते हैं, तो वो मेम्ब्रेन क्या करता है, उसको मॉइस्चर निकलने से रोकता है. Now next stage in most of variety of cheese we are actually cooking, and cooking actually generally क्या करता है, they are actually reduce the moisture whey content in the cheese curd, and actually protein maxes actually shrink, and more cheese whey are actually removed. And generally in high acid cheese, generally blue vinaigrette cheeses, we are actually losing more than 92% calcium, whereas in case of Edam cheese we are actually reducing 35% of calcium in the cheese. So the main aim of cooking is to shrink the curd to expel moisture, so that it can be best suited in the cheese hoop for further process of cheese manufacturing, like pressing, milling, salting. These are the remaining process. So these are the methods generally employed in most variety of cheeses. And similarly, curd treatment. What type of treatment we have to go to give to cheese? So generally in cheddar cheese making, we can actually, after cutting of curd or weighing, after drainage of whey, we actually allow the curd to further remove from the whey by keeping in a क्या कहता है, hoops. And after in case of cream cheese, we placing the curd on cloth which allow the whey to drain whey. Similarly in similarly in other variety of the Swiss making also, separated by placing a cloth under the curd and lifting it out of the vat or kettle. So these are generally we are actually getting. Similarly, pressing. Pressing is also one of the important aspect for the manufacture of whey. And the last portion of whey, which is actually retained in the curd, and we can actually remove the curd by applying pressing in the cheese. And cheese pressure is actually depends upon the cheese size of the cheese block, size of the cheese block, and weight of the cheese block also, and that may be vary with the size also. So cheese curd holds a volume of air before pressing. So generally in cheddar cheese, we are actually advocating the pressure of vacuum pressure of 85 to 95 kilonewton per meter square, and we are actually keep this pressure up to 2 to 3 days, and generally in the case of cheddar cheese. So now comes into the treatment of rind. And so generally rind is formed generally in case of cheddar cheese. The rind is actually formed just after during ripening. During ripening, we are getting the rind formation, and growth of mold on Camembert cheese and Roquefort cheese is also observed. And certainly in other cases like Brie and Limousin cheese, growth of bacteria and yeast is also observed in these. And similarly, cheese are ripe or ready for sale. The rind is simply coated with olive oil, which may be colored brown to black in case of Romano cheese or Parmesan cheese. You know that Parmesan cheese is the hardest cheese variety of the world. And in Gorgonzola cheese, we generally coated the cheese with the plaster of Paris, and these are actually after plaster coating of plaster of Paris, we keep the cheese into the cheese ripening room for getting a characteristic flavor and texture in the cheese. Similarly, and white brand cheese like Telim cheese, feta cheese, or similar type of cheeses, they are actually packed in the brine solution, either in the either in the tin or drums, or even in the salted way. And if we keep the such types of cheese in the brine solution or salted way, the keeping quality of the cheese is quite higher in comparison to other variety of cheeses, because salt is actually act as one of the preservatives for the cheese, particularly brine type of cheeses. Now salting. Salting, you know that salt is not only used in cheese, but also there are so many food where we can actually widely use the salt for food preservation. And in case of any variety of cheese, we are actually use sodium chloride as an ingredient, for getting, and then generally it is used in the range of 0.5 to 10% depending upon the cheese variety. And different methods are actually employed for salting. That there is three methods: either you mixing the salt crystal with the undivided curds before molding or pressing stage of manufacture. Another one is immersion of molded cheese into the brine solution. And you can also apply dry salt or salt slurry to the surface of from cheese. So these are the different methods by which are actually distribute the salt to the cheese curd, and we get the informed distribution of the salt in the cheese cubes. And the basic purpose is to check the undesirable microorganisms in the curd, and this is also helps in checking the growth of certain undesirable bacteria. And after salting, then the cheese is keep for packaging, and you can pack the cheese. Even now, in case of cheddar cheese, generally earlier we are using paraffining coat, and that paraffining is just check the growth of yeast and mold into the cheese, and at the same time the paraffining coating of paraffining actually maintain the moisture level in the cheese cubes. And after that, we can actually keep the cheese into the ripening room. Suppose in case of cheddar cheese, generally cheddar cheese is storage up to 0 to 12 degrees centigrade or even 16 degrees centigrade for relative humidity 50%. But in case of other variety of cheese, suppose in case of Swiss cheese, so then the temperature and relative humidity is different. So depending upon cheese variety, we can accordingly ripen the cheese and accordingly we can get the characteristic flavor of the cheese. And all total depends upon the type of meal, type of culture, everything, whatever the step you are taken into consider in making the cheese, all are actually affecting the quality of cheese. So salt and the salting, the quality of salt should be free from any type of impurities, है ना. This is also because when if we use impure salt, then may also go to the cheese also. So these are the different aspects. Just this I am discussed just just to know the different aspect of the cheese. Generally, cheese is actually used for cheese making. So if we prepare cheddar cheese, we have to go through this process, and even in Gouda cheese, we can go through the same basic principle, but some other parameters are actually replaced in Gouda cheese, some in Dam cheese. But the basic scientific base for manufacture of different variety of cheese is like this. Similarly, in case of ripened variety, we cannot use direct acid coagulation method. But in unripened cheese, we can use direct acid method also for manufactured cheese. Generally, suppose in cottage cheese we can prepare, and even mozzarella cheese we can prepare cheese from direct acid method. And similarly, the fresh cheese, that is green cheese, that is available, then we are actually go for different method for salting. Most of the variety of cheese is actually salted, and ultimately, in case of ripened variety of cheese, we can keep the cheese block at a specific temperature and humidity, and we can get the flavor after certain period of time. So in case of cheddar cheese, you can keep the cheese block up to 6 months. In case of hardest variety of cheese, that is Romano cheese and Parmesan cheese, that you can keep the cheese block up to even 1 year, and after 1 year you can actually consume. Similarly, in case of sweet cheese, in case of Gouda cheese, 3 months is enough for getting the characteristic flavor. Similarly, in case of Swiss cheese, we can keep the cheese block up to 4 months also, then you can get the flavor. Similarly, in case of branch cheese, we can keep the cheese up to 3 months, and you can get the flavor. So these are the basic things which I have to deliver, and so that you can acquaint with the different process generally involved in the manufacture of cheese, most of variety of cheese. So these are the basic content of the manufacture of cheese. Thank you very much for kind hearing. Hello, हेलो.
थैंक यू सर.
हाँ, आवाज गया था बढ़िया से.
यस सर.
सर थोड़ा फास्ट था सर.
पीपीटी खोल लिया सर.
क्या हो गया तुमको?
सर बोले थोड़ा फास्ट बोल रहे थे सर.
वो स्लो तो बोल रहा था पिछले बार से, स्लो बोल रहा था. अच्छा बोलो, कोई बात नहीं, ठीक है. अरे ये हमें बताओ कि तुम्हें कहाँ पे क्या दिक्कत हुआ, मुझे पूछो.
सर कुछ जगह पे तो आवाज नहीं आ रहा था सर. और सर
हाँ ये तो अच्छा, ये बीच में बाबू देखो, तुम लोग से रिक्वेस्ट है, ये सुमित या क्या क्या कह रहा था बीच में, तुम लोग से रिक्वेस्ट है, जब मैं पढ़ा रहा हूँ
सर आने दीजिए ना सर.
तो क्या कह रहा था सुमित? देखो ऐसे करके बीच में बोलते हो ना, तो
सर बोल रहे थे कि
हाँ हाँ बोलो, हाँ बोलो ना
सर. मतलब कुछ जगह डाउट है, तो एक बार रिवीजन करके सर फिर से हम आपसे पूछ लेंगे सर. एक्चुअली मतलब व्हाट्सएप पे तो एक दो जगह आपका आवाज गायब हो गया था.
सुनो ना, एक चीज क्या,
नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम की वजह से.
सुनो ना, कल जो मैं हूँ, हेलो, कल मैं जो हूँ ना, सब कुछ सुन रहे हो?
यस सर.
हाँ सर बोलिए ना.
हाँ तो देखो, अभी तक का जितना क्लास में मैं पढ़ा
सर बोलिए.
है ना, तो उसको डिस्कस कर लेंगे कल, ठीक है ना? कल फिर
सर कुछ चीज पता ही नहीं सर, क्या क्या हुआ है क्लास में सर.
अब तुम नहीं किए हो तो देखो, अब फिर से टॉपिक बता रहा हूँ, सबको मेल भी भेजा, सबको पीपीटी भी भेजा हुआ है. अगर जिसको नहीं है तो पीयूष और रवीश वगैरह से लेकर के सबके मेल पे भेजा हुआ है, ठीक है? तो तुम ऐसा करो, कल है सो डिस्कशन क्लास रख देते हैं, ठीक है ना? हेलो, आवाज आ रही है? हाँ, डिस्कशन क्लास में क्या, सुनो ना, डिस्कशन क्लास में क्या क्या है, देखो डिस्कशन क्लास का टॉपिक लिख लो, जैसे स्कोप और स्टेटस एंड स्कोप ऑफ चीज इन इंडिया एंड अब्रॉड, है ना? एक ये हो गया. दूसरा हो गया, हमने पढ़ाया है डिफरेंट वेराइटी ऑफ चीज का क्लासिफिकेशन. फिर पढ़ाया है क्या कहता है, डिफरेंट क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ चीज हो गया. उसके बाद है सो डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ लीगल रिक्वायरमेंट जो चीज का है, डिफरेंट वैरायटी का, वो हो गया, वो तो याद करने का चीज है कितना क्या है। उसके बाद प्री ट्रीटमेंट जो है मैंने एलोबरेट करके 2 क्लास में बताया है। तो प्री ट्रीटमेंट में जितना स्टेप है, चाहे होमोजेनाइजेशन हो चाहे बैक प्रोपगेशन हो, सब उसमें कवर है, तो उसको डिस्कस कर लेंगे। और ये साइंटिफिक बेसिस जो हुआ मैन्युफैक्चर ऑफ चीज का, वो डिस्कस कर लेंगे। उसके बाद मैंने चेडार चीज का पढ़ा दिया है, क्लास में भी पढ़ाया है और इस पे भी भेजा है, तो चेडार चीज का भी डिस्कस कर लेंगे कल, ठीक है ना? आवाज आ रही है? आवाज आ रही है बाबू? विकास
यस
अच्छा
सर आ
है?
रहा है सर।
हाँ, तो ये इतना 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 दूर तक है सो हम ऑलरेडी कर चुके हैं। इसके बाद कल जो मैं लूंगा डिस्कशन क्लास, उसके बाद नेक्स्ट क्लास मैं लूंगा अदर अदर टॉपिक पे, जो क्या कहता है, या तो गौड़ा चीज ले लेंगे या स्विस चीज ले लेंगे या मोजरेला चीज ले लेंगे। हमको लगता है मोजरेला चीज ले लें कल, मोजरेला कल कल नहीं परसों ले लेंगे, ठीक है ना?
सर कल क्या डिस्कस कीजिएगा
कल जो मैंने बताया
कल
कि जितने
स्टेटस एंड स्कोप,
ये जितने तरह का मैं टॉपिक बताया, जो हम तुमको मतलब भेजे भी हैं और व्हाट्सएप में भी वो भेजा है, पीयूष ने भी और विकास, ये क्या नाम है, उसने भी कुछ भेजा है। तो वो हमने जिसको मेल पे किया है, सबके मेल पे किया, जिसका मेल बाउंस कर गया उसको हम कहे कि क्या कहता है, ग्रुप में भी डाल दो। आज भी लिखा हुआ है कि ग्रुप में डाल दो जो आज पढ़ा है। तो यहाँ तक का जो है ना, जैसे चेडार चीज के बारे में बोला, इसके बारे में बोला, और क्या कहता है स्टेटस एंड स्कोप ऑफ चीज का, चीज मेकिंग का बोला, प्री ट्रीटमेंट के बारे में बोला, लीगल रिक्वायरमेंट और डिफरेंट चीज का डिफिनेशन वगैरह सब तो ऑलरेडी पढ़ा चुका हूँ पहले क्लास में। तो ये सब के बारे में कल डिस्कशन होगा, ठीक है ना? ठीक है।
ठीक है सर।
और क्या कहता है असाइनमेंट जो है, जो हमने बोला था, तो उसको क्या कहता है डिफरेंट हम भी डाल देते हैं। असाइनमेंट बोल रहे थे वीसी साहब की छोटा छोटा करके सबको लो और सबको है सो ईमेल पे मंगवाओ, सॉफ्ट कॉपी मंगवाइए, ठीक है ना? ठीक
ओके
है।
सर।
तो जैसे मैंने दिया है सबको स्टेटस एंड स्कोप ऑफ चीज इन इंडिया, तो उसका छोटा सा ब्रीफ लिख करके सॉफ्ट कॉपी तुम हमको है सो मेल कर सकते हो, ठीक है? और जैसे प्री ट्रीटमेंट का
सर 4 से 5 स्लाइड।
हाँ ठीक है, जो जितना दे सकते हो उतना दे देना अच्छा से, हाँ? ठीक है ना? स्लाइड दे दो जो उतना देना तुमको अच्छा से करके, ताकि सबका अलग रहना चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं है कि सब एक कॉपी कर लेना, सब अलग अलग देना। 5 असाइनमेंट है ना, तो 5 10 टॉपिक छोटे छोटे टुकड़ा में कर रहे हैं, तो उससे क्या होगा कि असाइनमेंट का जो नंबर है 5 नंबर, वो उसको कवर हो जाएगा। और फिर प्रैक्टिकल जो है, प्रैक्टिकल में मैं न्यूमेरिकल यहाँ से बोलूंगा और देखूंगा कि फोटो खींच करके उसको बना करके भेज देंगे, उसको प्रैक्टिकल रिकॉर्ड में लिख लोगे, ठीक है ना? और उसी तरह से कुछ प्रैक्टिकल जो मेथड है चीज का निकालने के लिए, उसका मैं कुछ प्रोटोकॉल जो है फोटो खींच करके तुम्हारे व्हाट्सएप पे भेज दूंगा, ठीक है ना? ठीक है, ठीक है ना?
हाँ सर।
अच्छा, तो अब क्या करें, इस जो रिकॉर्डिंग होने के बाद क्या होता है, सेव कैसे होता है?
सर
देखो टोटल है, तो अभी 8 पार्टिसिपेंट दिखा रहा है, उस समय 14 दिखा रहा था।
सर आपका रिकॉर्ड हो गया सर, आप लीव मीटिंग कीजिएगा सर, वो आ जाएगा सर आपके गैलरी में।
अच्छा, इन मीटिंग करेंगे उसी में आ जाएगा ना?
हाँ सर।
ठीक है, गुड।
यस सर।
अच्छा, तो लीव मीटिंग करेगा तो सेव हो जाएगा।